What's going on, everyone? This is Sean from Gen 4 Technology, and today I'm going to be giving you a quick rundown on how to set up your XVR series XVR to record and trigger upon perimeter intrusion detection. So if you're not in front of your device, let's go ahead and get in front of our device, and the first step we're going to do is go to the main menu. So we're going to select the bottom left icon here, go to Setup, and then we're going to go to AI. Within the AI features, we're going to make sure we're on the Setup tab, and we're going to select the tab labeled Perimeter Intrusion Detection. Here you'll have a few options. The first option we're going to select is the Setup option, so we're going to click this little gear icon. This will prompt us to the configuration section of this feature. The first option we'll see here is Channel. This is where you select what channel you want to configure this feature for. Rule number. This is where you can select how many rules you want to set up or which rule you want to set up or adjust. The feature supports up to 4 rules, but in this video we're just going to go over making 1 to 2 rules. I'll show you an example of how to make 2 rules just so you can see what that actually does. So we're going to start off with rule 1. You're going to always make sure you have to turn this on for each rule you set up, and then you're going to select rule type. Rule type depicts what direction someone has to be walking to be depicted as an event, and I'll show you that here right now. So we're going to draw a rule by just clicking, and you just draw a box and double click to finish, and then this is where you'll see the rule type come into play. You see where it says A to B here? This means it's going to go both directions because we have an arrow going to the left and an arrow going to the right, meaning anything that walks through or leaves this box will be picked up as an event. If we change that to say A to B, that means only anything that walks into the box will be depicted as an event. If we swap it to B to A, that means anything that leaves the box will be depicted as an event. In this case, we're just going to do A to B both directions and hit save. So that wraps up setting up a singular rule. Adding a secondary rule, it's just the same steps, but we're going to select 2, we're going to turn it on, and we're going to draw a totally different area within the field of view where you can depict it to do the same thing or different things, right? That goes back to rule type, where you can set it to whether you want it to be both directions or entering or exiting. Once you're done, always make sure to hit save. And then we're going to right click to go back 1 page. Once we're back to the setup section, we're going to make sure to turn on the feature by selecting the switch option. Until you turn this on, the feature is not active. So we're going to turn that on, hit apply, and then if we want to adjust sensitivity, we can. The higher you set the sensitivity, the more sensitive it's going to be to anyone walking through that perimeter setup. The lower you set it, the less sensitive it's going to be. Now that we have the configuration side of things set up, we can now go over where to set up what triggers when that event is triggered. So we're going to go down to this alarm tab here, click on it. We're going to find perimeter intrusion detection from these above tabs, click on it. And then here we can set up what we want to happen when that event is triggered. So we have a big list of options here. I'm going to go over real quick what each do. The first option is buzzer. So if you want the XVR itself to beep when that event is triggered, you would select this option, set it to whatever second time frame, meaning this is how long it's going to actually beep. You would swap to that and make sure to hit apply at the bottom. Typically I recommend leaving that off because it can be quite annoying, especially if it's a high active location. In most situations it's just not a feature used, but if you want to use it, that's where you set it up. Next is alarm out. Alarm out is in regards to any external alarms that you have integrated with the system. So if you had any strobe lights, sirens, loudspeakers, that's where your alarm output would take place. And all you would do is you'd click this little gear icon and you turn it on. Latch time, that depicts how long that alarm output will stay open until it closes. Record, here's where you select whether you want the channel to record when the event takes place, and by default it's turned on, and the channel selected should be the channel you're configuring. So if you're on channel 1, you'll want to make sure channel 1 is set to recording. If it's not, you'll have to just highlight it in and hit apply at the bottom. You can also add other channels to record as well when that event is triggered, but in most situations the only channel that's wanted recorded is the one where the event's taking place. Post recording, that's just in regards to how long it will record after the event takes place. You have a range from 30 seconds to 5 minutes here. Show message. This option is on by default. What that will do is when the event takes place, there'll be a small bar on the right hand side of the live view that will show a message saying that the event is taking place. Send email. This is where you can configure the unit to send an email to a specified email account, but you would have to set up that email option within the network settings beforehand. FTP picture upload and FTP video upload. Same aspect as email. You have to set up an FTP server and sync it within the network settings, and then once it's configured, you can have this event trigger an upload of a picture, an upload of a video via this section. Picture to cloud and video to cloud. This will upload a picture or a video to a cloud account that you sync with the device, and you can set that up under the device settings. Full screen. This is where you can trigger the device to pull the camera full screen when that event occurs. So if you wanted it to like pop up the live video feed to be like the main display when something happens, that's where you turn this feature on. Voice prompts. All that does is if you set up voice prompts on the system, whenever the event takes place, it will trigger that voice prompt to output via your monitor or speakers. Once you have these all set up, you're just going to hit apply to save, and that wraps up configuration. Now that we're configured, I'll go over a few things that you're going to use to review those events when they take place. So if we right click out of here, we go back to our live display. On the right hand side here, this is where you'll see all of the messages that are being triggered. So we have PID for perimeter intrusion. This means a perimeter intrusion took place, and all we have to do is hit the play icon in the middle, which will take us straight to playback. Playback will have all sorts of recorded footage. So if you want to just filter by only your perimeter intrusion detection, we're going to back out. I'm going to take you how to get straight to playback. So we're going to send the menu here. We're going to go to search, and on this left hand bar, we're going to uncheck everything and only check in perimeter intrusion. Select our channel, and if you had to, select the date and hit play. Right, so what this will do is it will filter only by perimeter intrusion. You can lower the time frame that you're reviewing within these options here. So I'm going to go 2 hour, and as you can see, there was a bunch of perimeter intrusion triggered, within the last couple hours, which you can click through and review. In our case, we have a lot of traffic going on up here, so that's why it's being triggered on a consistent basis. That wraps up this video. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Give the video a like, subscribe to the channel for future content, and have a nice rest of your day.